Canada, I attended the festival. It was the second festival of Ontario. And Tyrone Guthrie was directing James Mason in Oedipus Rex. I met James Mason there. And William Shatner, who's now very famous, at that time was, so to speak, carrying a spear. And he actually married the receptionist who was in the television station. That was the first opening of television where I was a scenic artist. And then I went back to London, worked at the Old Vic as a scenic artist, and the Coach and Horses in Greek Street, close to Cambridge Circus. Jeff Bernard's cartoons were all over the place. They were everywhere. And he became quite famous. As it happens, he was alcoholic. Everybody liked him, but he died around 1989, and Peter O'Toole later on played him on the stage. Jeffrey Bernard is unwell. That time I toured as an actor, 1961, with Sarah Churchill in her own company as a stage manager and stand-in for the lead. And then I went to Sound of Music for 2 years in London. A smash hit show. Ran for 7 years, packed houses every night. But I wasn't there all that time. I was on the stage with Alec Guinness when he played Lawrence of Arabia. The title of the play was Ross by Terence Rattigan. In my opinion, the last of the great playwrights. This is 1963. I'm in front of my portrait of Rabindranath Tagore, which is just above my head. The one on the left is Tom Bell, the actor. There's the Old Vic insignia below, and below that is a photograph of the card sent to me by Noel Coward from Jamaica. He's sitting in a throne chair with two wings on the wall behind him, as if they're coming out of his shoulders, and the simple signature is Noel, meaning Christmas, of course. This is Hitchcock with his dummy. The dummy is the person behind him. He's pointing at his dummy. This was at County Hall in London by the river, and he had this strange idea that he might photograph his dummy floating down the river at the end of the film. The film was Frenzy. I can be seen just above the dummy, or parallel to, in the extreme right. And this is the opening scene in which a strange body is found in the water, and it's a naked girl with a tie around her neck. That starts off the film. Frenzy, 1971, London. This is another angle, Hitchcock with his dummy behind him, and I'm just there on the right behind the dummy, arrow pointing to my head. This is Josephine Blake. She was a star of cabaret and theatre, singing and dancing, and she signed her photograph to me. I used to stage manage the nightclub after the theatre. It was L'Hirondelle, which means the swallow, in Swallow Street, just off Shaftesbury Avenue. Joe Blake, very powerful voice. I She did an imitation of Sophie Tucker, and I discovered Sophie Tucker was in London, and I phoned Sophie Tucker and suggested that she might come and listen to her. I don't know whether she ever did. I never saw her in the nightclub, but I tried. In 1968, I was working with Peter Cushing, the well-known horror film star and Shakespearean actor, on the film called Death's Head Vampire. It went out on a double bill with Witchfinder General, which in the United States